Okay, for anybody that's new that hasn't watched that video, Pet Goat 2, February 18th, or the video where Pet Goat 2, Olympics confirmation, etc. If you haven't been up to speed, you probably want to watch that first, otherwise, this won't make sense. But we know this deals with the coming in of the Chinese New Year, and we've talked about how this corresponds to the Olympics, most likely. Well, when the girl turns around, when the skeleton grabs her on the back, it's very interesting. The Olympics span from almost the entire month of February. Now, the Chinese New Year uh, begins on February 16th. The 16th of February, that's when the Chinese New Year begins. And so the Olympics spans, during this whole time of the Chinese New Year coming in. Well, what I want to show you, which uh, one of the subscribers, Inu Haru, pointed out, uh, he says someone found this, and I found I guess the original comment from a subscriber, Brian White. Okay, so these guys both pointed this out, that the skeleton Olympic game coming up from the 15th till the 17th of February, and there is an event called the Olympic skeleton. Okay, wherein they slide on this sled, head down, and this event begins February 14th and it runs till February 17th. So from before the coming in of the new year all the way to the day after the new year. And so since that's an event called the skeleton event. That's the actual name of it, the skeleton. Okay. So since we know this corresponds to the new year and probably, definitely the Korean Peninsula, definitely the Chinese New Year, probably the Olympics, but it's showing both sides of the new year, the coming in of the new year. The skeleton grabs her on the back. Uh, Remember, he has on his tooth here the L, which is the 12th letter of the alphabet. This is showing the ending of the uh, year of the rooster, which runs until the end of February 15th. So skeleton begins in the L, that is before the new year. She turns around, she sees him. We see the fireworks, he blows his party favor. That's a New Year's scene. Okay. And so we have the skeleton beginning while the L is prominent, um, and then the New Year's scene coming in with the skeleton. And so he runs from before the new year until just after the new year. Also, notice this too. I almost forgot this. If you'll notice these columns here, they look like a male penis. At least this one does. See how this column is different though? If we take him as depicting the new year, I'm going to show you something else too. Hold on, because there's another scene with a skeleton in this video. This ain't going to be a long video, thank God. Um, This column is different. It's in a rectangular pattern here. See that? Whereas the other ones are pointed. This one is like a icicle. See? Different. Well, if we took this as days, this is the ending of the year, this is the beginning of the year. Uh, then the third one from the beginning, I don't know why this is like this. Maybe I don't know. You almost want to say a one, but I think I don't know why it's like that, but it is different. But if you take this one as the first, the second, and then the third one doesn't have any snow on it, and it's just interesting and unique in that it doesn't have any snow. And it shows the top of the fourth one, and it does have snow. Yeah, it does have snow on it, and the favor runs right across the top of the third one, and it's pointing to her cheek there. Also, a lot of people say, well, this looks like a rib cage. This scene, You know, when it shows the girl running in, and I've taken it as the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, because it has fences facing inward on both sides. You know, the Korean border has fences facing outward. Excuse me. South Korea has fences facing outward, and in some spots there's a road that runs in between, and the border in between the two. So you have fences kind of like this with a road. But some people said it looks like a rib cage. Well, that would also kind of coincide with the, you know, the skeleton being referenced in a sense. It is talking about the coming into the Chinese New Year. I mean, the yin and yang, that we've talked about that. Not going to go over that again. Not, you know, you have to go watch them other videos if you're not familiar with it. Well, there's another skeleton scene here. Right after the boy walks across, it's going to show the skeleton conducting, like kind of like a maestro, a orchestra conductor, if you will. Here we go. All right, I'm going to try to run it slow, so I'll be pausing it because it's a very brief scene. Okay, he begins by showing you this eye, and I've taken, you know, a picture of it, so we're going to look at that. But it's different. These are different than what you see in the former scene. Okay, his eyes are different because in the other one you have like a bird, and then you have the moon. Well, that's not what you see in this one. He's like conducting like a orchestra, if you will. And this eye, though, you have something different as well. What do you see right there? We'll talk about that in a second. He makes an X with his sticks, and then he reaches back and kind of like makes a big U, if you will, or a big Y. And then he does like an L-shaped pattern. But you see in his eye here, that's a P. That's a P. And that's the end of that scene. I mean, from there it cuts to something else. The bombing of the mosque scene. But this is, okay, let me just talk about the P right quick. Okay, you see the P in his eye. See that P? Come over here. See the P? Well, P is the 16th letter of the alphabet. Okay. The 16th letter of the alphabet. And we know this video deals with inversion of letters and numbers, letter values for numbers. Well, the 16th is when the new year begins. So then again, you know, P is the 16th letter of the alphabet. If this video does have inversion, so there again you have a new year, something that could be taken as reference to 16. That's the time the Chinese New Year begins, the P. Now the other I don't know what this is, honestly. I don't know what it is. Okay, so just you give your feedback on that. Thoughts I have, which I don't put any weight on because it's just a lot of speculation, is that this looks like something. Oops, this looks like something folded over. There's actually a little shadow. I don't know why this isn't the highest resolution, but I don't feel like messing with it right now. Excuse me, I'm not feeling too well. This is a yellow streak kind of that comes down, and there's yellow too right here, and then the rest is like white. This is like white that comes across. So I don't know, man. I don't even want to give my thoughts on it because it's such speculation. But it just looks like something maybe crashing over something else. But what I do want to point out is hold on, trying to see what happened to my picture here, because oh man, it cut my picture off. I don't know what happened. Anyway, 1 second here. This is real time. Excuse me, I had this set up. I don't know what happened. I probably botched it. Alright, here we go. There we go. Okay, so what I wanted to show you too, we know that the Chinese New Year is named in this video as Wu in front of the windows, but it's also got a second word, Shu or Zhu, the XU. And I was postulating, since he does deal with the New Year, he does make an X with his hands. Now he makes an X here. And then after that, he goes into this motion here, which I was thinking, it could be a big U, So he does his X, and then he throws his hands back, spread apart like that. Could be a U. So that could be another reference to the New Year. But he has that P in his eye, and that's the 16th letter of the alphabet, and the New Year begins on the 16th. And then he does a L shape, which I also had pulled up, but I'll just pull that up over the top of this one. Second. Alright, there. This is his last pose. And again, you can see the P in his eye. Hopefully you can see that, which equals the 16th letter of the alphabet, which equals the first day of the Chinese New Year. Okay. And we know he deals with the Chinese New Year in the other scene. There is a skeleton event that spans the time of the New Year in the Olympics. Okay, but what I wanted to point out here, and it looks like it has almost turned into another letter here, like a G or maybe even a C. But formally it's an L. But you see that it's got fat at the bottom. It wasn't like this in the original scene. So some things have changed in the skeleton, who I believe is a reference to Baron Samedi, okay, who is the Loa, the spirit and voodoo of the dead. Okay, he helps people to die. He leads them into the afterlife, if you will. Okay, Loa of death. And the way he's portrayed, he's usually depicted with a top hat, black tailcoat, dark glasses. The dark glasses, though, are a lot of time without lenses in them. Anyway, he resembles, of course, dressed and prepared for burial in the Haitian style. He has a white, frequently skull-like face, or actually has a skull for a face, and speaks in a nasally voice. So, excuse me for being all over the place. I'm not feeling too well. But here, this is the last scene. He makes like a L shape here. If you were looking from this way, if you're looking from this way, makes a L. So the people that he's conducting for, if you will. And I was postulating either it's an L, maybe signifying like the end of the other year, the 12th letter of the alphabet, or could be, pointing to the clock hands of like 12 o'clock and then making a 3 o'clock, for those that were looking. So maybe it's just pointing to 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, perhaps, dealing with the third day. Alright guys, that's it. Not a long video, just some thoughts out there. There is a skeleton event running in the Olympics, spanning from before the New Year comes in until after the New Year comes in. So I thought that matched the video pretty well in light of what we've been talking about.